Hello, my name is Kurt, and today I'll be talking about another MGTOW topic. The topic in this video will be strive to be a king. A king without a queen, obviously, as a MGTOW. Now, why do I say strive to be a king instead of saying strive to be just a regular person or something like that? Well, as a MGTOW, you're living the free life. You're living to the best of your potential as a male, right? That's the whole purpose of MGTOW, is to be as successful and as powerful as you could be, and just to kind of go your own way, whatever you see is fit as a person. Like I said, there's other MGTOWs that just like the humble lifestyle. There's other MGTOWs that put their money into motorcycles and stuff like that. But in each way, they're all living like they're personal kings. You know, they are the ruler, and they do not have anybody else ruling over them. See what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you want to drive the best cars? Why wouldn't you want to drive the best clothes, don the best jewelry, um, you know, buy motorcycles, whatever you always wanted growing up or just in general? If there's something you fancy, why not get it, you know? Why stoop yourself down to this sort of like lower sort of level of like, oh, you know, I really want it, but you know, I want to go on a date, or oh, I really want a family, or this and that. It's just, you get rid of all that stuff and you live as a king for yourself. And that's it. There's a saying by Machiavelli, an Italian philosopher, back in ancient times. And getting back into ancient times really quick, you had classes separated by status, obviously like you do today, but it was more prominent in older times because the kings acted like kings and dressed like kings, and the peasants obviously dressed like peasants and acted like peasants. But now you have this sort of clashing of classes in today's society where, you know, the broke sort of wannabe kings, so to speak, you know, try to get designer clothing, but they purchased fake stuff from Chinatown or something, or, you know, you have the lower class trying really hard to fit in to be looked upon as high class, but they fail to do so, you know. You could sense that as a person of class and as a person with that alpha male state of mind. You could tell when somebody's, you know, trying too hard and trying to fit in, or somebody that resonates wealth and royalty automatically. You know, you see a person, you know, just walking through a mall or just walking through the city or whatever, and they have this sort of aura of, I want to say, confidence, of like, you could also say arrogance. You know, a lot of people look down upon rich people as like, oh, arrogant rich bastard, or spoiled rich motherfucker, you know, white privileged male, all this bullshit. But in true honesty, that's just jealousy, because those people present themselves with such an aura of contentment and just such an aura of like, it's sort of like I don't give a fuck about anything vibe, you know? You go to a restaurant and as a rich person, or if there's a rich person there, you know, they just have this kind of like, you know, this food's pretty shitty, you know, and everybody's looking at them, how they're complaining on the food, and a lot of people say, oh, that's arrogant, you know, if he doesn't like it here, he should go somewhere else. Well, the person of wealth would just slam down a like $100 tip on the table and say, you know what, I could buy this restaurant. I have enough money, I could buy this fucking restaurant, and I would turn it into a 5-star restaurant empire. But I'm going to spare myself the trouble. Here, I'm going somewhere else. This food sucks. All the people here in here fucking suck. You know, screw you all. Go to hell. And then they just walk out the door. You know, you have those sort of arrogant, upfront rich people, but then you have the other rich people that are sort of like silent in their aura of presence. You know, they just walk in, they get some food, they don't, everybody stares at them and they have this sort of feeling, but they don't really verbally disclose it. They just quietly eat, If they don't enjoy the food, then they don't enjoy it. They don't really complain. They just drop, some money on the table, and they leave. They're polite to everybody. And then you see them walking out, and they get into the Lamborghini or their Corvette or their Maserati, and they drive off, And they're going to be the talk of the restaurant, whether they're the arrogant one or whether they're the silent one. Because there's just going to be, obviously, people that notice. You see what I'm trying to get at? People notice that aura. And if there's somebody that walks in that's trying too hard, let's say one of these street thugs or something like that, right? You're just going to obviously know, that they may be blinged out and they may have a Louis Vuitton jacket or something, or a Gucci jacket, and it's the fake from Chinatown, and it's just these people that try too hard, and then they struggle to drop the tip, for the waiter, they drop like a 20 instead of dropping like 100 or more, you know what I'm saying? You could just definitely see. So that's what I'm saying, is in ancient times there was that sort of thing, but the peasants really didn't try to fit in with the royalty because they couldn't. They would either get executed or they would just, it just wouldn't work. You're either royalty or you're not. That's what I'm trying to say. And that also, kind of holds true today as well. Because like I said, you're either royalty or you're not. And then you have those people in between that try to fit in, that, drop all their money on luxury goods, and it's not convincing anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the most expensive Rolex there is, but I walk around with it like it's $1 million Rolex. Because, like I said, it's a feeling of success. I know it's not fake. I bought it with my hard-earned money. I did a lot of research. It took a lot of time. This was a very hard pursuit for me, and it was a stepping stone. That's what I'm trying to say. If you just go to Chinatown and buy a Louis Vuitton hat or jacket or whatever, it's just $10, and it's that easy, and it's not the real thing. It's not quality, and it just doesn't give off that same feeling, and it's just hard. Like, for example, wearing a replica watch, like a replica Rolex or a replica, even if you want to be even more overt about that, like, let's say, replica Patek Philippe. You could get a replica, but you're going to know it's fake. Some of the other people that are into watches may see, oh, that's a Patek Philippe, oh, that's an expensive watch, and you might fool them. You might get them to think that it's real, but deep inside your conscious and unconscious mind, you can never fool yourself into believing that that's the real piece, because it's not, And that's what I'm trying to get at. Don't try to be a replica. Try to be an original piece. Try to resonate luxury and try to aspire to be the best person you could possibly be. And getting into what I was saying before, Machiavelli, the philosopher, he says, it is better to be feared than loved. And in all honesty, those are wise words, because it is better to be feared than loved. Because look at all these people that are religious. They're like, oh yeah, the shepherd, I love my Lord, I love this, I love this. But they walk around with this fear of Satan and Lucifer in their head, and then they worry about ghosts and possessions, and they're scared. These people are scared to freaking tears over some non-existent babble stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, but they still fear that, you know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, like, let's say, would I want to be Jesus? The welcoming, loving shepherd that everybody, comes to him and they hug him, but yeah, his best friend, like Judas or whatever the fuck, I'm getting my Bible stuff kind of fucked up because it's been years since I read through all that shit. You have Judas that backstabs him. You have your own people or whatever just kind of betraying you and then crucifying your ass and then all this stuff, and it's just like, really? Do I want to be such a beta male? Jesus supposedly casts miracles, and after all this help he provided all those people, he just gets crucified. Like, see? Because he was loved. And the higher powers, Pontius Pilate and all the officials, you know, they hate seeing somebody that is sort of loved. And the Pontius Pilate and the officials are obviously feared, so they just kill off that person in order to instill more fear into the people and to make them follow the rules more adamantly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, would I rather instill fear in people and have people just kind of just like, oh my god, you know, run away, and just, to me that would be pretty funny, as opposed to just standing there with open arms and being such a loving being and just getting backstabbed. You know what I'm saying? So it is definitely better to be feared than loved, without a doubt. A lot of people may have a different take on that philosophy and that word. Some people say, oh yeah, but what is life without love? You know, all these fucking people. Love is just a chemical reaction in the brain. Love could be anything. Love could be the scent of the wind hitting your nostrils on a nice summer day. Love could be just relaxing in the sun on a warm, pleasant day. Love could be the scent of cigarette smoke while passing through the city on a cold winter evening. Or, you know, love has many meanings to many different people. You know, to some other people, love is the scent of piss and beer and puke and stuff like that, because somehow they find love in that, you know what I'm saying? Or some people, you know, just nasty things, you know. Some people love prison life, some people love this, some people love that, you know what I'm saying? So love is a very broad thing. But like I said, the philosophy of it's better to be feared than loved holds true with me. Because I've been in the position of being loved by everybody. Because I was a beta male. I was a helper, I was a provider, you know, I always sort of let people lean on my shoulder. If anybody needed help, I always helped them. That was the old me, right? And what did I get from it? What the fuck did I get from it? You know, I'm not asking, you know, I wasn't asking for financial gain or anything, or recognition or anything, but just a simple thank you, you know, would have been sufficient. A simple, you know, just some sort of gratitude here and there. I never got any of that. You know, they got what they wanted, and good riddance. You know, good riddance, you stupid little beta male. Enjoy your life. That's it. You know how many women I missed out on because I was this fucking beta male? You know, I had this beta male thing. If I had this sort of alpha male persona, and I had all these women coming to me by themselves anyway, it would have been a completely different situation. Let's not mention that the girls that I actually tried to chase, that I got denied by, or even if I succeeded, I got screwed over in the end because I still had a beta male sort of mentality to everything. So if I was an alpha to begin with, people would be afraid of me, so to speak. If I did something, because as an alpha and as a person who is feared rather than loved, if you do something good, it is from the true kindness of your heart, and people respect that more, as opposed to if you're somebody like Gandhi, for example. Like Gandhi is expected that when you hear Gandhi, you think of all this peacemaker, or Mother Teresa, or whatever. You think of this peacemaker. You think of this you know, saint or whatever. But when you think of Aleister Crowley, you know, or when I say like Lucifer or Anton LaVey, or you know, anybody that has been truly hated, you know, Adolf Hitler or anybody, it's like, oh, you know, it's a completely different contrast. So that person that was providing peace, that was expected out of them all the time, and they were used and sort of abused, and they dropped dead. And yeah, they have some, you know, thanks now and all this gratefulness. Oh yeah, everybody loves Gandhi and Mother Teresa or whatever, but they don't strike the same power into people. The power of sort of respect and fear as you know, Hitler did, or Crowley did, or anybody. You know, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like I said, if I was a person that was feared back then, like I said, if I did something good, it would be looked down upon looked at, not down upon, but looked at with greatness, and people would be very grateful. You know, they would make sure to be grateful, you know, because if such a person that's feared actually helps you out and gives you any attention, or, you know, just, you know, goes out of their way to assist you in any way, you see that as a big thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of another, like, example that I could give now. Like, trying to think of, like, a fierce leader. Okay, I got a good one. Like, let's say Fidel Castro, if he was still alive. It would be cooler to meet Fidel Castro and just see, be seen as sort of like a person that met Castro instead of a person that met Obama or fucking some sort of beta male bitch like that, you know? Like, you see what I'm trying to get at? I'd rather meet somebody that's fucking cool, and yeah, they may be considered evil, but, oh yeah. Like, to me, like, some people may say, oh yeah, I met Obama, oh, that's such a great thing. Like, to me, it's like, why would I waste my time with such a peasant, you know what I'm saying? Like, you only mess with the best. That's how it has to be. You know what I'm saying? And the best in anything. Like, if you're a believer person, if you believe in religious things or whatever, what I'm saying is it's better to meet the Pope, for example, instead of meeting some sort of local priest. You know what I'm saying? See the contrast? So the purpose of this topic in particular is that as a person that is feared, you are respected more. As a person who is loved, is easier to put down, and it is expected of him to be a good person all the time. And if you do one evil thing, or you do one thing wrong, you slip up in some way, all hell will break loose upon you. Your reputation's gone. It's tainted. Nobody will look at all the freaking good things you did anymore. Like, let's say Gandhi was in the place of, like, how should I put it? Let's say Gandhi was a good guy, whatever, and he like shot like 5 people, or he, you know, did some really screwed up stuff. All the thousands and thousands of people he helped before wouldn't matter, because now everybody would say, oh yeah, he shot 5 people and he's really a bad person and fuck him and everything. And there goes your reputation. There goes the reputation you were trying to build up, your entire fucking existence gone in a blink of an eye. So why bother? Be feared from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Getting back into the whole Aleister Crowley thing, it's like, you hear that name, it still strikes fear into people today, especially the religious fellows. And some people it strikes respect, and some people it strikes fear. But in one way or another, like I said, fear is respected. You know? Like, I'm running around in circles here, but, like, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's better to be royalty. It's better to be successful and to be alpha instead of being beta. You know what I'm saying? Just to be alpha, it doesn't mean you have to be a hateful person, doesn't mean you have to be an evil person per se, but you can't just be weak-willed, and you can't be weak-minded either. You know, there has to be a certain balance. But to me, like, if I was like super rich, I would be that sort of silent rich person type, you know, like the one that drives a Lambo. Like, you could say that's not really silent, but, you know, you gotta show off your wealth. Like I said, if you got it, show it off, flaunt it. That's the whole point of it, you know. And it's not to gain the respect and admiration of other people, because I could drive around on a bicycle, like a $10 bicycle I get from the junkyard, and still maintain that aura of sophistication and of power, because it's what resonates from within as opposed to all the other stuff. But it's just nice, you know. Cruise around Lambo, boom, park it in the best restaurant in town, walk in, I don't have any reservation, oh, it's loaded tonight. You know what? You already know me, boom, give them a $200, give me a seat, you know, none of this bullshit. Yes, sir, okay, no problem, okay. Eat some food, whatever, drop them another tip, leave, just be on my way. That's a MGTOW. That's what I see it as. So, strive to be a king. because kings were respected, and kings were feared, and kings were loved at the same time back in ancient times. Whereas people who were loved, like the doctors, or like the lower end of society back then, like the priests and all that stuff, sure, they were loved, but they weren't respected, feared, and loved and everything as the king was, you know? Two different spectrums. Anyway, cheerio, people.